Welcome back to another episode of Bombshell 1111 Girl Talk Series Podcast. Bombshell 1111 is a platform created to teach ways to nourish the mind, body, and soul. This platform allows this podcast to create weekly content on podcasts with special guests each week that will stimulate your spiritual, mental, and physical growth. The podcasts are played on social media platforms such as Spotify, YouTube, Anchor radio station, Apple Podcasts, and more. This station has been created to allow us to interact with each other to share knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and light. So without further ado, please help me welcome your host and founder of Bombshell 1111 Girl Talk Series, Kia.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Bombshell 1111 Podcast. My name is Kia, and I'm your host. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. Tonight, you guys, we have a very special guest by the name of Dr. Enqi. Dr. Enqi is famed for his expertise pertaining to the soul and overall wellness. He has many hats that consist of being an ordained minister, a master herbalist, a personal trainer, a sports nutritionist, a neuropathic doctor, as well as a consultant, author, and father. And he also just most recently released a single by the name Rabbit Has the Gun. So without further ado, you guys, let's welcome Dr. Enqi to the show.
A.A. Rashid is with Griselda. Oh, it's that time to start robbing niggas now. If I jack polite for them cars, you know how he go. He stunting rentals. I might get knocked by the repo. Plus he snitching. That's new cars and probation. I'ma have to rob Sinetta old ass for them YouTube donations. Once I start robbing niggas, you gonna see the bitch come out rich. He gonna try to hide behind Cambada and Professor Griff. For real. Add more niggas to the pot. It's how you spoil thieves. I'm taking Cam CD money and so late royalties. Rich gonna try to call the pills over this pistol shit. But that's only gonna get them niggas robbed for all that crystal shit. Rich gonna call Supernova next, but I can handle the ball. I wait for him to go OT and sneak rob his store. I ain't tussling with that nigga. He got a couple screws loose. For real. King Simon is a puppy. He the conscious blues clues now. He a big dog and the elder, so I'm sorry, bro. But you and Lloyd laying down for that numerology, though. This ain't serious. Being conscious can make you delirious. So we live and have fun, but I'm just saying, son. Shit get different when the rabbit got the gun. This ain't serious. Being conscious can make you delirious. So we live and have fun, but I'm just saying, son. Shit get different when the rabbit got the gun. Mama Pill gon' call me on the phone like Enqi, what's up? I'ma just rush her off the phone and send her a cut. I hope Rizzy 19 and Ben don't think I'm funny. I'm tying them Muslim niggas up for that bean pie money. We kidnapping Wesley for ransom like a movie. He got it. Farrakhan fuck around and say keep him. We got Nuri Muhammad. Billy Carson, brand new, building his bag. But I'm a pistol whip that nigga. He be stealing my swag. If you waiting for me to rob Unc and Chief, you on those streets. It's way too much heat trying to rob the police. Now when I catch Jabari slipping, you gon' think I'm tripping. I'm giving my Israelites the description. Get everything Egyptian. Robin Curtis caught easy. He's still on Cosby Pudding. I'm robbing Black Dot for IP and antique video footage. We kicking in Garfield door looking for finance profit. But we ain't find nothing but 2 butter programs in his closet. This ain't serious. Being conscious can make you delirious. So we live and have fun, but I'm just saying, son. Shit get different when the rabbit got the gun.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Bombshell 1111 Podcast. Tonight, we have another special episode with someone very, very, very special. I'm so appreciative that he came on to the show. We just listened to his latest single, When the Rabbit Has the Gun. So without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Enqi to Bombshell 1111 Podcast. Hello, Dr. Enqi. How are you?
Hey, I'm alive. I'm coronavirus free. What more can you ask for?
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast tonight and being a part of my new venture. I'm very humble and appreciative because you are very pertinent to the African American community. And for those who don't know who you are, the listeners tonight, they will definitely learn a lot of aspects of your life as far as concerned with health and with music. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. We just listened to your latest single, right? Let's just stop the short talk. We just listened to your latest cut. So let's tell us a little bit about that. What's the story behind that? What's the vision? What's the mission behind that?
Well, with that song in particular, it was really made just for the community. I was surprised to for people all across the country to really pick up the song and for the song to really start to grow legs on its own. A lot of radio, like a lot of DJs from the college stations, underground radio stations, shout out Nez and all them guys. They all playing it, spending it, loving it. I didn't think that people outside the community would. Now, in the community, a lot of people felt like a lot of foolishness was going on, a lot of, faking Jackson, a lot of just weirdo shit. So there was a growing consensus that somebody wanted to put hands on a group of people to restore some of the discipline and the seriousness back into what it is that we do in terms of interfacing with the people on the front line, trying to provide solutions to the daily issues. And, before it went to that level, I just said, let me do something creative where I can make an outlet for that type of energy without people actually having to put their hands on people. And, it wound up being a fun project, and, people received it really well. And like I said, it's getting crazy now. People, it's growing legs. It's helping the album. It's helping the album to move because, it's tough to go indie. Like a lot of people now is a trend. Yeah, I'm trying to go indie, but a lot of what people think is larger artists who are indie are not always completely independent. The main thing with music is pushing the music, promoting the music, and getting going through platforms. So a lot of guys have different types of marketing deals with clothing lines and product placement that they're using in lieu of larger label engines, to get to those gates and those platforms. And we really doing it organically, independently. So, we need all the help we can get.
Now, I did listen to your single, and I wanted to touch on the lyrics because the lyrics are very deep. And you repeatedly kept talking about being conscious. Can you talk a little bit more about that, and what's the kind of like reading more into the lyrics and helping the listeners understand what the lyrics mean? Can you go a little bit in depth about that?
Yeah. With consciousness comes a certain level of responsibility. So, one of the main purposes of the album, I would say, is the culture really didn't have representation. You have a lot of artists out there that call themselves conscious rappers, but we don't know them to be conscious. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, to us, they just frauding. You know what I'm saying? And we don't hold everybody to the same level of responsibility. If you're John Q rapper and you made $10 million, 20 million, triple platinum, whatever the case may be, more power to you, keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? But if you call yourself a conscious artist, then that means we're looking to see some form of those proceeds contribute to building some school facilities, some daycare, some sort of infrastructure in the community somewhere. Even if it's just on the level of what Nipsey Hussle was doing in terms of creating businesses and showing people how to get back into their neighborhood and really build up the infrastructure in the neighborhood. But that is really a shame because you have so many artists that call themselves conscious, yet Nipsey never passed himself off like that. He always stayed true to his gang. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But he did everything that a lot of these guys that call themselves conscious are supposed to be doing. So it's just a matter of cleaning house. Like, listen, man, if you want to make a certain type of music, that's fine, but don't call yourself conscious because it's the same as the street. When you see guys that pass themselves off as gangsters and street guys because they like the benefit, they like the attention, that calling himself a gangster or street guy gets, you see how long that lasts. It lasts until the reality of being a gangster or street guy catches up with them. The same thing is happening with people calling themselves conscious rappers. They want the attention and the look of being a conscious rapper, but they don't want the responsibility. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a lot of guys, and unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? I seen this when I was growing up. A lot of guys, you know, they go get their children from their baby mom's house on Father's Day and take them to the movies and take a whole bunch of pictures and put that shit online. And they're looking for the same sort of respect and admiration of guys that really take care of their children 365 days a year.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
True.
By you know, just throwing up splashing some fake folk. You know what I'm saying? So it's that kind of energy with the consciousness. It's like, nah, bro. This is a small community. If you open up a vegan restaurant in Arizona, I'm gonna get a phone call. You know what I'm saying? If you supposed to be a conscious rapper, we supposed to know your lineage. It's just like martial arts. Where did you get enlightened? Who's your enlightener? Where did you receive, you know, when did you step into the conscious community? You come from the Hebrew Israelite movement. You come from the Nation of Islam. You come from the 5%ers. You come from, you know, who did you study with? Where did you come from? Like, who are you? You know, because that's going to tell us what we should expect from you and why we should support you. Because a lot of people don't know. Nobody gets successful by themselves. There's a movement that they're the face of that propels them to. So when you title yourself with these things, that's where the responsibility comes from, because the people are going to start to mobilize around you and get behind you. So when you get to the finish line, whatever that may be for your cause or movement, you're supposed to turn around and do whatever you're supposed to do. Kind of like politics. You know, when the top politician is running for office, he's making promises to the people. Hey, if you vote for me, I'm going to do these things. If you vote for me, I'm going to do these things. When you get elected, now the people are like, all right, cool, do those things. Then if those things aren't done, then we know, okay, next election, we got to get you up out of there if you do something crazy even before then. Same thing with conscious rappers. It's like, yo, we're going to support you, but, you know, when you get in office, make sure you do them things. If we don't see no bookstores pop up, you know, we don't see certain things happen, you know, then we know, okay, he just played us, use the name, use the machinery, use the framework, because consciousness has a rich network of small businesses that band together to support their own. So a lot of artists use that network when they're on their come up, because they want to be able to go to different cities and, you know, put 50, 100 people, 500 people together. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, we've allowed that network to be used because we didn't have self-representation. So, you know, now we do. And, you know, it's a beautiful thing, because the music is going, like, it's just going. And I was shocked that one of the brothers put up a critique and put like my album against the electronica album, and gave me a favorable, you know, and that got picked up and put in the blogs and all kind of stuff. And you know, it's just a very well received first album, you know. So
what is going to be your plan or your mission behind giving back to the community when it comes to your music and you know, the proceeds that you gather from your project?
What'd you say?
What is going to be your plan, with, you know, as far as giving back to the community?
My plan
with the proceeds. Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, your plan.
Oh, I'm sorry. You maybe it's my phone breaking up. Well, I already built a school, right? A school, and I built a school and a clinic. We ran into problems with the landlord of the building we built the school in. He wouldn't allow us to build separate bathrooms. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was dealing with a real janky hood. Like, it was wild with the landlord. We put down so that we could build. So one of the projects we'd like to do is building a school. Then right now, coronavirus, and with the work I do, so the impact coronavirus with corona, maybe to go in and just look to in labs where we and work of legends such as Dr. and Africa and Spain and work on. There's a couple of things that are on the table that are necessary and the community like to build.
Can you let the listeners know where your school is located?
No. We only had this for a year because we had conflicts with the things that were on in the building on the floors. Then they had museums, stores. They had shopping and different. So we build in our part of the building, but we could build our own separate bathroom facility. So at this point, children share from with the stuff the building.
Oh,
which
wow.
Cool.
Okay.
Would have been cool, except I find them like smoke cigarettes bathroom is a weirdo. Like it just got so.
Yeah.
He told us we wanted to do that kind of on the crash of we got to, but on Green Grand River in Detroit.
Oh wow! Well, congratulations on that, though. I mean,
yeah.
I hope the best for that, and I hope you're able to reestablish it and get that going.
Impacted families and crazy because we're getting a lot of phones as of late, but a couple of calls that really hard. Right track in terms of homes prep and things like that. Now the virus hit, it was a shutdown. People using the blue that we get then pull their children out. Everything was good. Worked out.
So, Dr. Enqi, what's the plan for you in going forward with your music?
Right now, we really just trying to infiltrate as hard as we can in terms of radio. That's the name of the game right now. We're just really trying to press radio, press the DJs, get the music out there. It's Got the Gun is doing really well on like underground radio, college radio, and then we have a song called Artificial Intelligence that is right now being played in Salisbury, Maryland. It's being played in Chicago, and it's being played in Myrtle Beach. Those are the places where we have P1 top tier radio stations playing that song. So that song is starting to pick up momentum. So, for the people listening, definitely support, call up your radio station. Let them know you want to hear Artificial Intelligence by Dr. Enqi. You know what I'm saying? You might not want to call up your main radio station and tell them to play Rabbit the Gun. That's a little too, you know what I mean? But
a little too deep for them.
Yeah. But no. Artificial Intelligence is fun for the family. You could turn it on like it's it's no cuss words in it. You can turn it on at the birthday party, the baby shower, the cookout. You know what I'm saying, or the quarantine out. Like now, you know what I mean. Who knows how this summer's gonna look?
Right.
A lot of partying online, like however that even looks. Like you're gonna have a birthday party and everybody's gonna be on FaceTime. you gonna FaceTime send up a niggas. Like it's, we know what I mean. We don't know how this is gonna work out. You know what I mean? This is wild right now.
So, Dr. Enqi, can you let the listeners know where on the social media platforms they can go and check out your music and any upcoming music that you're gonna be having?
Just know the name. Dr. Right? DR. Period. And the way you spell my name is E like Edward, N like Nancy, Q like question, I like intelligence. So that's ENQI. If you type in Dr. Enqi on any platform, podcast will pop up. The album will pop up. That's how you catch me on Instagram. That's how you catch me on YouTube. In fact, I just did a video that's really catching steam right now because I pulled one of the first people that I helped to reverse the coronavirus when she was in her deepest place. One of the sisters I knew, she was high risk because she had experienced lupus already. And,
Mm-hmm.
autoimmune diseases make you a high risk for coronavirus. And she got coronavirus. She got tested. We showed the paperwork and everything. And they sent her home to take Tylenol. They didn't give her any solution. So immediately I gave her the herbal protocol. And she went to bed that night, woke up the next morning back to 100%. So
Wow.
we wanted to be able to share that story with everybody. And then after she shares that story and we walk through the protocol, then I go through all the ingredients in the herbs and how each herb actually modulates very specific aspects of your immune system. And yeah, it's a real powerful video. So right now, I would suggest everybody just type in on their YouTube, Dr. Enqi coronavirus testimony, if you want to really get that science too.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Enqi. And speaking of, at the end of this podcast, in just a few minutes here, we're going to allow some time for you to give them your Instagram, your Facebook, all those social media platforms as well, so they can follow you and also follow your latest YouTube videos as well as your music. We kind of talked about, you doing music, but you also have like 1,000 different roles.
Yeah.
You're a very busy person. So you do music, and then you also you work within the health profession. And tonight I wanted to touch on your music because you just most recently released your single, and then also discuss health information for those individuals that are concerned about the coronavirus. And you've already kind of kicked that in. So to go right in, what are some signs or symptoms that people should be looking for to detect the early signs of coronavirus?
Man, you know what? I don't want to be funny or scare people up, but really anything out of the ordinary. Anything out of the ordinary, because initially with coronavirus, we already knew that it was a part of the family of viruses that cause a common cold. We already knew it was part of the family of viruses that contributes to flu-like symptoms, right? So we kind of had that, but this new strain, there's more that we're learning about the virus as time goes by. So it's not just flu strain. For men, it attacks the testicles. It damages the testicles. In people and animals, it attacks the intestines, the digestive system. It attacks some of the heart, the cells that make up your heart, right? So there are a lot of different aspects of coronavirus, and then with the symptoms range from, like I said, cold and flu-like symptoms to losing the ability to smell and taste, right? Slightly, just slight fever with no other symptoms, right? So there are there's a lot of confusion right now with the symptomology surrounding coronavirus. You have people exhibiting no symptoms, people exhibiting crazy symptoms, people having blood in their urine and feces. I even heard it's crazy. So I would say anything out of the ordinary, accompanied by, especially if you have all of a sudden fatigue. If you have any type of all of a sudden fatigue, that could be a sign all on its own that your body is fighting off a virus. So it's not, it's not worth to risk it. I would just start the process of calling around to see if you can. Because see, what happens is this. Once the symptoms set in really, really quick. And the main problem is if your lungs start to fill up, you don't really have that much time to go without oxygen. So on the one hand, the fact that most of the people that test for coronavirus are negative, it's like 9 out of 10 people are negative. You just don't want to be the one positive person. And the people that are testing negative aren't testing negative because they're perfectly healthy. They just have other infections and things besides coronavirus. So I would just say, on one hand, we have to be mindful of the paranoia and the fear and the craziness. But on the other hand, if you if anything strikes you as abnormal, I would say it's better to figure out what's going on at this point in the game. But you just be mindful. You have to really manage your resources, because the one thing you don't want to do is go down to the emergency room right now if you don't have a reason to be there, because you're going to be in the emergency room where God knows what is floating around in that emergency room.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah. Dr. Enqi, if an individual were to catch the coronavirus, what are some ways for them to be able to handle it, or to help treat themselves at home? Some herbalistic ways.
Some two very simple things that everybody has in their kitchen that helps. Like I said, people can go to the website and get the herbs. That's really the most detail I can lay out, but that takes a while to lay out.
And what's your website? For those who want to go and check out that, and get those herbs?
UnitedPlatesOfAmerica.org. UnitedPlatesOfAmerica.org. And my phone number is 833-777-6543. So people can call me up or shoot me a text. Shoot me a text probably be easier. But 833-777-6543 is the number. But yeah, so I would say definitely the herbs is the best way to go. Now, outside of the herbs, you got common things in your kitchen like red onions. Red onions are really, really good in terms of helping the body to fight off viruses. Really good. Cinnamon.
Okay.
Cinnamon is really good in terms of helping your body fight off viruses, and specifically coronavirus, because cinnamon is high in lectins, and those types of lectins that cinnamon is high in helps your cells to protect their ACE2 proteins, and the ACE2 proteins are what the viruses use to attach themselves to the cell membrane. So lectins serve as a secondary source of antibodies that will help protect that and stop the viruses from being able to attach themselves. And if they can't attach, they can't replicate. So cinnamon does that. You know what I mean? It's almost we could almost go through your cabinet and find medicinal benefit, because you have turmeric in your cabinet. You have cinnamon in your cabinet. You have thyme in your cabinet. Now, the one thing I would say is a lot of us buy seasoning on sale. This time is when they're just going to make the biggest difference between the 99-cent cinnamon versus the cinnamon that's $13.99. Because
and why is that?
Because the quality of the herbs in the seasoning. A lot of times what happens when seasonings get really old on the shelf, they get sent back to the company. So the supermarkets will send them back to the company. The company will take them and repackage them. A lot of times, parent companies own multiple companies so that they can sell a high-end product, a mid-range product, and a low-end. A lot of times, the product goes through all three stages. So if it sells immediately while it's still potent, then it's at the high-end price. It gets repackaged and repackaged down in many cases. So by the time you get to like the 99-cent version, it's really a stale product. And a lot of the medicinal components are no longer active. So if you're getting the organic, fresher brand, you're going to have a lot of those components still active in your herbs. And now you'll get the benefit out of having the fresh thyme, the fresh coriander, the fresh oregano, the fresh cinnamon, the fresh cilantro. Cilantro is awesome to have right now, right? Cilantro and coriander kind of the same thing, but but that's really good to have right now. Red onions, all those types of things are really good right now. Go ahead.
Is the antibacterial steaming, is that an option for treatment for the coronavirus? I know I've seen that going around a lot on social media.
Because people
with the lemon pills,
right? Because people don't know what they talking about. Antibacterial don't have anything to do with viruses.
Okay.
Right. So you need antiviral or antimicro. What is it? This is another term, but antimicrobial. I mean, antibiotic is not gonna or antibacterial, which is antibiotic, it's not going to really do much for, That's why when you go to the hospital, they're giving people antibiotics there left and right, but it's not doing anything for coronavirus. The three things they offer in the hospital is the ventilator, the IV, and antibiotics. And typically, the antibiotics does more harm than good, because when you take antibiotics, you destroy the microbiome, which are the good microorganisms that live in your body. Now, those microorganisms, they coat your mucous membrane that Dr. Sebi spoke to us all the time about. They also coat the cell membranes. On the cell membranes, they support the antibodies, and they also protect the ACE2 protein, right? So this is why children are showing a higher level of immunity to coronavirus than adults, and adults are showing a better immunity than senior citizens, because the younger you are, the more diverse your microbiome is, because you're usually in contact with a lot more germs every day. Children, they put their hands in their mouth, they put their toys on the floor, then they pick their toys up off the floor, put the toys directly in their mouth, then they, children is just filthy, you know what I'm saying? But we don't understand from our civilized perspective is that's the natural way we was designed to live. Not necessarily filthy, but in contact with our environment. That's a part of one of the feedback loops that build our immune system. So because we are over sanitized, we are losing potency in our immune system. Your immune system is like a boxer. It has to spar. Sparring is what keeps and popping and able to, right now, a lot of us are putting immune systems that haven't been sparring up against Mike Tyson. So we having first round knockouts as opposed to, what we normally supposed to do every day. So that is another way that, a virus such as coronavirus is causing the havoc that it's causing. A lot of this is because people are just, in terms of our immune potency, our immune system strength, we are devolving, meaning we're going backwards.
Yeah. How do you think this is going to impact the African American, the Black community? How do you think, and going forward, what do you think the future is going to look like?
It's kicking ass, because one of the things that people aren't paying attention to, right? Because you hear a lot of weirdo shit associated with coronavirus. One of the things people aren't, that a real thing that people should be paying attention to is we just moved into a global pandemic of respiratory infections, right? Because that's what coronavirus represents. Respiratory infection, right? But people aren't noticing that we transitioned into a global respiratory infection pandemic after coming right out of global opioid pandemic, right? And so people, if they're not trained, they don't know the difference between the two, or the similarity between the two. And the similarity is this: all opioids, whether you're talking about queso morphine from cow's milk, or you talking about Percocets, or whether you're talking about sipping lean, or whether you're talking about prescription painkillers, all opioids attack your respiratory system. So when you look at rappers that's dying from overdoses of opioids, they just stop breathing. So for me, understanding that we having a global pandemic of opioids, I was already looking for the other shoe to drop. You can't have a global pandemic of something that attacks the respiratory system and then not be followed up with some sort of result of compromised respiratory systems. You see what I'm saying? So you couple that with the fact that in our community specific, we have a very high use of menthol cigarettes. Like, we Newport cigarette crazy. We not just cigarette crazy in the Black community. We Newport cigarette crazy.
Cadillac,
right? You know what I'm saying? So we got to do the Newport, right? When we consume cannabis, marijuana, you know what I'm saying, the end of, you know, when we consume, we do it with the blunt wraps in the back, right? And see, blunt wraps have blunt wraps have sometimes more than 4,000 chemicals, right? Backwoods is thick as cardboard. All of those things attack our respiratory system. So we have patterns. And then if you look at most of the people who, for recreational purposes, engage in perks, lean, you know, they also
Ecstasy.
doing cigarettes, blowing trees. So we have created a culture around attacking and weakening our respiratory systems. So now a virus that's not even particularly that dangerous can cause severe symptoms in people because of the fact that our respiratory system is already compromised in many cases.
As it relates to the future with the coronavirus and the vaccines that they have, that they say they may potentially have, do you think there's going to be a potential vaccine for the coronavirus?
Now I remember. Okay, now I remember. Okay, so basically, what I'm saying is, you can't create something stationary for something that's ever changing. So because the chemical isolations don't change with the bacteria, with the pathogens, with the microorganisms will always develop immunity. So the only thing that really can offer us any benefit is plants. Plants have lectins. Lectins serve as a secondary source of antibodies for you. Plant nucleosides provide your body information on how your immune system should attack different pathogens. Plant fiber feeds the microbiome inside your body, which allows your body to protect its cell membrane and mucous membrane. And then that's all happening before we even get into the phytonutrients, the compounds, the enzymes that are found in the actual plant, the aromatic amino acids and all of the other various key things that we only get from plants that really function as our immune system. So our immune system is totally plant-based. We just got to wake up. So a lot of us have weakened immune systems just because the only thing we eat is meat surrounded by food out of boxes and cans. You know, when you look at, like, I haven't put it up yet. I got it in my phone. I keep forgetting. My day be so busy. I just haven't had a time to sit down and do it. But I'm literally in supermarkets. I'm literally in Walmart. I'm literally in CVS. And I'm showing that people are running around looking crazy to me. Like people just look so stupid to me. It just looks like we're in a Twilight Zone, right? People here on the news, just listen to this for a second, because I don't think people stop and pay attention. Sometimes we got to look at ourselves from, like, we got to look at ourselves. I'm starting with the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to look at ourselves objectively sometime before we can see stuff. So we hear on the news, national emergency. There is a viral infection that's contagious and people are getting it, right? So it's an infection that's infecting people, and we saying, look, stay in the house and chill. Get what you need from the store, stay in the house and chill. People panic and run to the supermarket, right? Now watch what they do. They go into the entrance. So just mind you, see this with your mind, right? This is what I do with the music, so this is why the album's so dope. But look, see with your mind, right? See this vision in your mind. You walk into the supermarket. When you enter the supermarket, you enter into the supermarket, into the produce section, right? So all the salads, the onions, the greens, like all that's right there, right? You run past that. The fruits, the vegetables, the nuts. You run right past all that. To go get the last 3 packs of chicken in the back of the store.
Facts. Yes.
Now, You left that section and you ran as fast as you can because you see the panic in other people and you really in competition with niggas like, oh, hell no, I got to get some toilet tissue. So now you fly across the supermarket to the other side of the supermarket, and guess what you have to pass right before you get to the aisle of the toilet tissue? You pass that aisle that has all the herbs and vitamins and minerals in it. You run right past that aisle to the toilet tissue aisle. Bam! You grab 2 pieces of toilet tissue and grab you a couple of bottles on the way out. And when you get to the front, they tell you, oh, you got too many bottles of water bottles. Put 2 of them back. So now you get out of the supermarket. You got meat, toilet tissue. You got a couple bottles of water. And nobody bought any greens. Nobody bought any onions. Nobody brought any citrus fruits. Nobody bought the pineapples. Nobody bought the grapes. Like, nobody bought any of the vitamins. Like, all the vitamin aisles in every supermarket is still loaded, jam-packed. So when they on the news showing you, oh my God, look at the supermarket. Look at all the toilet tissue is gone. They showing you on video the empty aisles of the supermarket and shit. The next aisle is the vitamins and minerals aisle. They should show that aisle because that shit is untouched.
Yes. Well, you know, that's so true, especially within the Black community. Why do you, in your opinion, think that, you know, it's not, in some households, it's not taught to eat healthy or to even, you're not even knowledgeable about herbal things of that nature. What's your opinion on that? Why do you think that's lacking within the Black community? And like you said, we run right past that section and go straight to the meat. What is your opinion on that?
Yeah, our ignorance is truly a large source of income for a lot of people. Our ignorance is an income for a lot of people. Like, if we look at the plants, right? And when I say the plants, I really mean like wild plants, which are herbs. You got domesticated plants. Just like back in the days, you got the house niggas, field niggas. You got the kind of same thing going on with the plants. You got domesticated plants, which are like your farm-raised shit. And then you got your wild plants, which are your herbs that you got to buy in different compounds and capsule form and all that kind of stuff like that, right? So in those plants, the nucleosides of those plants are such a wealth of information, right? They have actually started modifying the plants, and they attack that area. They modify, change it. So when you eat the food after it's been genetically modified, you don't get the medicinal benefit. But the crazy thing is, they take that information and create antiviral drugs from it, which are called nucleoside analogs, and then sell that shit back to the people. So you took it out of the food only to turn around and sell it back to people when they need it. Like, that's crazy. You see what I'm saying? So that's the kind of leadership we have. So people are making decisions based on the information they got. And the most dangerous information about the health of Black people comes from Black people. So when you look at the Nation of Islam, they have Wesley Muhammad telling people to drink cow's milk. Cow's milk is dangerous for a variety of reasons. A, it promotes prostate cancer. B, it promotes type 2 diabetes. C, it promotes early opioid use because it has high levels of casomorphine, which is a form of opioid, right? In the milk. Like, literally. So you're creating a little drug addict already with giving them all that damn milk. It's just a fact. People can look up the term casomorphine. All breast milk from mammals has casomorphine in it. This is what puts your baby to sleep. So if you ever have a baby and you breastfeed, every time you breastfeed the baby goes to sleep.
Right.
Because sleep is when healing happens. Autophagy. Autophagy is the process where your body rebuilds the enzymes and stuff it lost from the day's work. You know, like throughout your day process, you're using a lot of hormones, peptides, protein. Autophagy happens. It's a part of the repair when you go to sleep. So every time babies get breast milk, they're supposed to go to sleep so they can grow and their bodies can build.
Right.
Well, that amount that the breast makes is based on the weight and size of the baby's body.
Okay.
So that way, it's a small enough amount to get you to go to sleep, to release the endorphins in the brain for brain growth and other forms, but it's not enough to create addiction and modify behavior patterns.
Okay.
right? So there's a difference between a 7-pound human baby and a 120-pound baby calf.
Right.
Right. So you're giving your child maybe 20 times the amount of morphine that they're supposed to have. So that's way more than enough to start to modify behavior patterns and create addiction.
Wow, I never knew that. Never. And I breastfed with both of my daughters and never knew that.
Right. But that's the way to go.
Tell
You're
you
supposed
that.
to breastfeed, but they got products now that they selling. So it's a lot of money in women not breastfeeding. But damn near 40% of the baby's immune system is in the breast milk. Right? Think about this. You got a lot of people, and this is what's coronavirus exposing a lot of shit now. You got a lot of people that started out the gate short on their immune system.
Right.
And if your immune system was short, your neurological system is also short because the two go together. Your brain development. And what I'm saying by that is if nearly 40% of a baby's immunity is in the breast milk, and another nearly 40% of the baby's immunity is based on the baby sliding down the birth canal. Right? So the baby gets 40% of its immunity for its internal environment from breast milk. It gets another 40%, and this can't be replaced every day. Like breast milk, they feed off the breast all the time. But this only happens one time, the birth canal. When the baby comes down the birth canal, the bacteria, the microorganisms from the mom's womb coat the baby's skin and seal the baby's body. That's the baby's protection against the environment initially. So babies that don't have that have a much higher risk of allergies, eczema, hives, all kind of crazy shit. So you look at a situation where we having a lot of babies now left and right that C-section and they getting powdered milk. Well, if you C-section and you powder milk, you damn near short 70-80% of your immune system out the gate.
Wow.
You at a shortened level of neurological development. Right. So if that's one of the main things right there out the gate that give your child an advance in terms of their thinking, their ability to process thought and articulate themselves is how you fed them as babies.
Right.
And so, those are things you can't fix later on. There's no fix for that later on. There's no herbs I can give you later on because your mom didn't breastfeed you that's going to make up for that short. Like that's a short that never gets fixed. You just short bust for life with it.
What do you feel are some herbs that we as adults are just individuals within our community, Black community in general, should be taking on a daily basis to maintain overall health? At least 2 herbs that we should be trying to invest in and be consistent with taking those.
We have what's called the 21-day detox. So you can go to enqisdetox.com. The detox is there along with damn near a full college course on the herbs you'll be taking. The main herbs in the formula you'll be taking anyway. And it's 21 days out of each month that you do it, And typically these are the things that you're supposed to have in your diet on a daily basis.
Okay.
Right? These are the things you're supposed to have on your diet on a daily basis to beef up what your real immune system is. Most people don't know what their real immune system is. Right? A lot of people, if you ask them, what's the immune system? They say something like the white blood cells. Right? But that's not true. The white blood cells are a secondary unit. The white blood cells come in to clean up after the actual immune system, which is the NRF2 system and the supporting enzymes and pigments throughout the body, right? The NRF2 system. So people can type that in their computer and learn more about that. The NRF2 system, though, is the antioxidant control center for the body. Your body has 2 different ways it handles viral infections and all of that kind of stuff. Antioxidant and then the oxidant system. The antioxidant system is to neutralize any types of bad guys. That's the killer team. The white blood cells come in to clean up. And this is one of the reasons why chronic inflammation is such a big problem. And you have viruses that go unchecked until they become cancers, lymphomas, breast cancer, or on the flip side, the virus doesn't become long-term problematic, but the inflammation itself becomes long-term problematic, and it leads into autoimmune diseases and things like that. Because of the fact that we're not feeding our body the right things, and we're crippling the NRF2 system, the HLA system. So there are a variety of wild plants, such as sarsaparilla. Sarsaparilla is a great one. I know people are, a popular herb right now is sea moss, right? You got a lot of people, but here's the thing with sea moss. There's another plant called Gracilaria. Gracilaria is almost identical to sea moss, right? But a lot of people that don't know what the hell they're doing and don't really care to, they selling people Gracilaria and calling it sea moss.
Sea moss, yeah.
Because I'm looking at people's channels, and you got people whose whole platform is rap beefs, rap battles, who butt is this bigger, this gang bang, woo. And then they like, out of nowhere, they like, and we selling this sea moss right here at $16.99. Hit me up, I'm about to send you a pound of sea moss. I'm like, what the hell is this? And so people got to understand, there's a difference between approaching herbs and things like that with an entrepreneurial mindset and a holistic mindset, right? Entrepreneur's mindset says, I want to buy something at the lowest possible price I could buy it at, and sell it at the highest possible price that I could sell it for, because I make the most profit that way. And as an entrepreneur, you are rated and celebrated and respected based on how much money you make. And like, yo, they had a hit with that thing over there, man. Them boys was selling that, whatever that is, they was getting money, that. So, but the holistic mindset is totally the opposite, right? So the holistic mindset, I don't get fame and notoriety based on how much money I make doing what I do. I get fame and notoriety based on how many people's lives I change, how many households I affect, right? So now that is going to lead to real-time decisions, like, for instance, right now, or like I was saying with the sea moss and the Gracilaria. And when I say sea moss, Gracilaria is a type of sea moss, but that's not the sea moss popularized by Dr. Sebi. What Dr. Sebi was talking about was Chondrus crispus, right? But what happens is, like right now, normally you're supposed to be able to get a pound of sea moss, Chondrus crispus, for about anywhere from $20 to $30, depending on how much of it you're buying. Maybe even a little bit cheaper if you're buying enough bulk, right? And I'm talking about good, organic, like, high quality. Now, because of the situation going on right now with coronavirus, sea moss done went up to damn near $80, $60 maybe, $100 depending on. So the price done tripled in some instances. Now, why does that matter? Because if I'm an entrepreneur, I'm going to buy the cheapest wholesale package of whatever I can pass off as sea moss for the customer, because it's about making money for me. If I'm of the holistic mindset, I'm gonna have to roll with the punches and pay the top dollar, because I need the high quality product, because that's where the medicinal benefits is. So I lose money and popularity in the pop culture sense of the term, because John Q. Public, when they even making their decision to purchase, they might look at a product and say, oh shit, that's $50. Wait a minute, let me grab this one right here. This one $25. It's the same thing. They both got some parts in there. Yeah, let me get this one right here. It ain't gonna make no difference. but it's a
Right.
world of difference, because depending on how a plant is grown determines the nutrient content in the plant. And if you're buying a plant for a medicinal purpose or for some form of building your body or health or whatever, that makes all the difference. Like if you get a regular tomato, the difference between a regular tomato and organic tomato, for instance, the organic tomato might have like 300 times the amount of calcium or iron in it as a non-organic one. Like that's just so it's not like it's a couple of grams. It's not like it's 10 grams of whatever and there's 11 grams in the organ. Nah, it's like 300 times the amount of antioxidants and phytonutrients. And so it's a complete world of difference, because when you grow plants with chemicals, you destroy the plant's ability to grow. It's the same as growing humans with cow's milk, right? They don't get that breast milk. It destroys their ability to grow, So yeah, I would just say at this point, it would be more important for people to watch what they eat, try to limit, obviously. I would just, I know it's hard for folks, but I would just stop the smoking. Like really right now is the time to put the smoke down. Unless you like, if you blowing cigarettes, forget about it. Cigarettes got to go. For the cannabis consumers though, you got to get your vaporizer. Like right now you should have had your vaporizer game together, or I don't know what to tell you. Like, but any type of blunt wrap, any backwoods, all them papers, even the hemp vegan paper, like all that shit you got to let that go, man. You got to let that go. Anything that's impacting the respiratory system is going to cost you right now. So, cannabis in and of itself is a very good plant, but the things that we accompany it with are problematic. You know what I mean? So, just the practical things. You know what I'm saying? Avoiding dairy, avoiding, lean, Percocet, avoiding any opioids as much as possible. Blunt wrap, cigarettes, like those would be the things, and definitely don't be sharing nothing with nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a lot of niggas in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Hood quality. Niggas be circulating blunts, circulating cigarettes. That's why New York is a hot spot. You know what I'm saying? Because niggas got hard heads. They still going half on the bag, rolling up, passing. Like, come on, man.
I know it's hit very hard there in New York.
Because it's one level where you could speak from a scientific perspective, but then it's a whole nother level when you just think about the realistic practices of people in their day-to-day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Come on, man. This is not the time to be, it's going to be a lot of quarantine baby making. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's out of control right now. People is turning down jobs so they can get the free unemployment money and stay home.
Yes.
Like, it's getting crazy out here right now. Because just as much as people is closing down businesses, like you got niggas complaining, oh my God, ain't no jobs out here. Bro, it's mad jobs out here. Just as much people is hiring. I mean, just as much people is closing their businesses, other businesses is doubling, quadrupling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So business like Walmart, they explode. CVS, Rite Aid, Amazon, like it's businesses exploding that are all hiring people.
That's true. It's all, especially Walmart. It's all over it's all over the social media. It's all over the news. So definitely.
This place is hiring like crazy right now. So, nah, man, y'all, we just gotta get on our grind. This time that we gotta not, there's a lot of game playing, a lot of partying, a lot of, lack of being responsible. You know what I'm saying? So now everything is still cool. Coronavirus is not that bad. It's just going to cause us to tighten up our game a little bit.
Yeah. So let me ask you this last question in reference to the coronavirus, and then we're going to go into closing it and allow you time to give your social media platform information to the listeners so they can follow you and get your latest YouTube videos as well as your music that's coming out, and can check out your latest single. If you could give a piece of advice to, the African American, the Black community, what would that be in reference to their health and moving forward during this time? And then also, the second part of that question, in your opinion, how long do you foresee this whole coronavirus thing being into play?
All right. So, like I said, right now, I would make sure that, I would try my best to cut down on as much meat as possible. You know what I'm saying? For everybody, that's not realistic. And so in those cases, I would say just to make sure we're eating actual living things every day. Right? Just some. Okay. Just make it your business to get a couple apples and a couple tangerines, or whatever. So a handful of grapes, or what I'm saying, some berries. Just try to get in as much living food as possible. Because like I said, you get a whole free host of lectins, which function as antibodies from plants. You get the nucleosides from plants, which tells your body's immune system how to attack. You get fiber, which feeds your microbiome. You get the phytonutrients, the minerals, the enzymes, all of those things. Now, that's another thing that the herbs are good for, because a lot of people don't have lifestyles where, they got the time to get the produce and prepare it daily, etc. So things like the detox, that's why I said the detox is probably easy for a lot of people. And you can go to enqisdetox.com and get that. Now, in terms of how long coronavirus is going to be around. And then also, remember I said you got onions, cinnamon, you got onion, ginger, or you got things like that in your kitchen already. But coronavirus is going to be around for some time, because coronavirus has been around. A lot of people is just thinking coronavirus right now, but MERS, that was out like 2000. Yeah, like around two. That was coronavirus.
Whoa, I did not know
that was the coronavirus. But what happens is, coronavirus is from the RNA family of viruses. So you have DNA viruses, RNA viruses, right? Just like in your body, you got DNA and RNA. Every living organism does. But every living organism's genetic material, like your DNA and RNA, would be viral to a hippopotamus or an elephant or a shark or a dolphin. Foreign genetic material is viral to your body because the information is not consistent with your cell's information, right? So all organisms though shed, right? So this is where one of the bases for quarantining yourself comes in. Staying at the crib, keeps it. But coronavirus is an RNA virus, and the major difference between RNA viruses and DNA viruses is that DNA viruses, every time they replicate, every time they reproduce, they make exact copies. So once your body, that's where the understanding of, once I get infected with this one time, I'm gonna be immune for it for the rest of my life. That's where that comes from, right? Getting the DNA like a DNA virus, because it replicates the same way every time. So every time your body come in contact with it, it's gonna know how to beat it with no problems. A RNA virus is different, because an RNA virus, every time it replicates, it changes. And when you get one that gets enough information about its host to change, it'll create a new strand that your body has to start all over trying to figure out how to fight it off. So that's how you have MERS a couple of years later become SARS. SARS is also coronavirus. So then, we got SARS under control. And here you go, 16 years later, you have COVID-19, right? So as our bodies immune systems learn about viruses, viruses learn about your immune system. And as viruses gain information on how to fight off your drugs and your white blood cells, they create smarter strains. Those smarter strains come back, and your body has to relearn how to defend against them. And so those can continue to infect you. So coronavirus is going to be around because it's been around. You know what I'm saying? It's in the animals and the cats and the dogs and squirrels, and there's different. The coronavirus is a large family of viruses. You know what I'm saying? So coronavirus is going to be around. Even those of us that are quarantined, I think within the next 24 months, everybody's probably going to be infected with coronavirus sooner or later. I don't think that, think that any part of the quarantine idea was to stop people from getting infected with coronavirus. I think that's pretty much impossible to happen. What the quarantine thing is to slow down the run on the resources, so that people who need it, people who become symptomatic from coronavirus, they have somewhere to go in terms of getting help with their oxygen until their body's immune system slows down, and they can fight off the virus, because it's the immune response that floods the lungs and creates ARDS and or pneumonia, and then that's what either kills you from lack of oxygen, or the hypoxia turns into sepsis and you get organ failure or something like that. But it all starts from the excessive immune response flooding the lungs. So the main important thing that they have in the hospital for you is not the antibiotics that they give you, like I said, because that damages the microbiome. But the main important thing you get in the hospital is the ventilator. And that's where you have the big controversy, where hospitals are turning people away. And then you got some jackasses that don't understand what's happening, making videos for Instagram and YouTube saying, look, it's a conspiracy. The hospitals is turning people away, and they saying they full, but they got empty beds. It's not that the hospital is filled to capacity in terms of sleeping room. You know what I'm saying? The hospital may have 1,000 beds, but it may only have 25 ventilators. So if it's 20 people already on the ventilators and 50 more people in the emergency room with flooding lungs, if the hospital only got 25 ventilators, they can only service 25 people. And sometimes people got to be on a ventilator for long stretches of time. So if the hospital got 25 ventilators, even though they got 1,000 beds, they can only take 25. So if the hospital says, hey, we at capacity, you know what I'm saying? It's not saying we at sleeping capacity. It's that we're at capacity for being able to treat your coronavirus symptoms. You know what I'm saying? With your lungs filling up, you don't have that long to try to figure that shit out. You know what I'm saying? You need oxygen quick. You can't, 5 minutes and you dead.
Yeah. Let me ask you a quick question. I know I said that was going to be the last question, but you raised some interesting points. I know we've seen a lot of videos circulating on social media in reference to saying that this is part of population control. What is your opinion on that?
There's so many stories. I'll be honest. I just been trying to get people to focus in on what's important, which is staying healthy and safe. You got the one story, right? You got one story that says that China started coronavirus because, the animals that they eat and the mixing of the animals, and that's how a zoonotic virus jumps from animals to people. And all of those things are factual. So because all of the supporting information is factual, it sounds like it's a plausible story. Like, maybe China did start the coronavirus outbreak and, whatever. Now, China has a story that says America started coronavirus. And they saying that Fort Detrick was messing with RNA viruses, and they was leaking the viruses into the community. And that's why Fort Detrick got shut down in September. So, and if you look that up on Google, like if you Google Fort Detrick shutdown, you'll see that they was leaking viruses into the community, and they got shut down. So you'd be like, damn, maybe China's telling the truth about America. Maybe we started this shit. You know what I'm saying? Then you hear, well, Bill Gates did this for depopulation, and the CEOs is all stepping down from their companies. And then you see the video with Bill Gates from like 2016, like, yeah. And so that story looks like it's true. And then you get the information from China that shows that men have been, coronavirus attacks men's testicles. So some people that get healed from the coronavirus, they still have irreparable damage to their testicles in some of the men. So when you look at those things, you say, damn, this depopulation thing, this is credibility right here. This has credibility. So this is plausible. Right. Then there's another story that because of the frequency range of 5G, the 5G network is weakening the respiratory system, not necessarily causing the virus. I think there's some people that don't know what they're talking about, and they just kind of like middlemen flipping other people's information and shit. So they don't really know what they're saying. Yeah. So that's where you get the people saying 5G is coronavirus. 5G is definitely not coronavirus, but exposure to these frequencies can weaken the respiratory system, just like using opioids can weaken the respiratory system. And that's all you need to open the door for a virus or bacteria and change your body's response level from damn near not having no symptoms, you know what I'm saying, to, needing a ventilator.
Wow. Whew. That's deep. Well, I thank you so much, Dr. Enqi, for the information that you shared here tonight, and definitely sending prayers out to the families that's being affected by it and the ones that's not even, being directly affected by the coronavirus. And hopefully the quarantine thing will soon be over and we can kind of get back to somewhat normal.
Well, yeah, it's going to happen a little bit this summer once it get hot, because if you notice also, the hot places, the coronavirus is really slow moving through. The viruses and extreme sun, like it doesn't. So as the sun goes more northern, UVC light, it destroys microorganisms. They use UVC light in hospitals to clean and sanitize surgical equipment. That's in sunlight, but only for the summertime. So as that light starts to come up more from the equator, you're going to see the virus disappear. But the flip side is the virus will be in hiding with all the information that it just gained from invading in people. And as we will be re-strategizing, the virus will be re-strategizing to see us late October, early November. You know what I'm saying? Right in time for Christmas shopping, the virus will be back, smacking everybody in the face this winter. So people have to prepare for that. So you'll see a downturn in it. But I would suggest for people to still be very, very, very cautious all summer. Be very cautious.
Very conscious.
Cautious. Yeah. Okay. Once it goes away, don't get crazy and go back to your old patterns. You know what I'm saying? Stay vigilant. You know what I'm saying? Don't be sharing things with folks. I ain't saying quarantine yourself and don't enjoy your summer, but just be mindful. You know what I'm saying? Stay out of low quality crowds. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And low quality crowds doesn't have anything to do with being snobbish or any type of money thing. Low quality crowds is just about being around a whole bunch of people that don't really care about their health. And to be honest, that's most people. But you people that really put the time and money into separating yourself and being responsible for your own health, Like, you just want to be mindful with the amusement parks and the movie theaters and, the nightclubs and, dark, cold places that the virus is going to be lingering around this summer. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be the STD for the summer. Yeah, because the virus changes in body fluid. So what we doing when we have sex, or even when we not even just pre-sex, like we just kissing and feeling each other up. You know what I'm saying? That's the perfect opportunity to share a little corona.
That's true. That's true. I pray that it does change, but I'm kind of with you on that. I don't foresee it changing. I do see it staying around for a long time, up to 24 months if possible. But Dr. Enqi, I thank you so much for being a guest on Bombshell 1111 podcast. The information you shared tonight was very, very, very valuable, especially to the African American community, the Black community. And I pray that the listeners, took your advice in regards to their health. I hope that they also check out your music, because your music is very educational as it relates to being conscious of who you are, being conscious of what's around you. And so again, I thank you so much for being a guest. And is there anyone you would like to give a shout out to before we end the podcast tonight?
Shout out to everybody, man. I don't know. Shout out to my children, B. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my babies. That's my life. That's my energy right there. That's what keep me going and keep me ambitious.
Too. Agree. I totally agree. So you guys, with that being said, I would like to say have a good night, and always remember, you are the bomb within your own shell. Peace, love, and light. Until next time, you guys,
Peace.
Good night. If you enjoyed this podcast, please make sure you subscribe so you're notified when a new episode is posted. Rate, review, and share this podcast with your family and friends. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you're leaving with some valuable information that can help you on your personal journey. Also, check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Bombshell 1111 or at Bombshell 1111 TV. You can also check out our mental health page, Your Health is Your Wealth, on Facebook, which is a page created to inform and support individuals with mental health and other health conditions. And with that being said, always remember, you guys, you are a bomb within your own shell. And until next time, peace, love, and light.